Back to Kadic reviews, and this one's a big one. Because today we're talking Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, or should it be more appropriately titled Marvel Cinematic Universe featuring Capcom Infinite. But that's not to say that unlike its predecessor Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3, that we're not talking about a better game here. We're just talking about a clearly Marvel-driven advertisement vehicle that just so happens to be lucky enough to actually be kind of fun and good. But it's not perfect. Way not. At least it's better than Street Fighter V. Hopefully in these next few minutes, I'll be able to explain why. We'll first start with the least important and least forgettable part, the story mode. Now, the story mode was added in out of the response of, every NetherRealm game ever, and the fact that Street Fighter V didn't originally have a story mode. But if you're wondering why you're not seeing footage of it, it's because on Xbox you can't record the cutscenes directly. So I apologize for that. But hopefully in the next segment I'll be able to explain to you why you should play it once and forget it. Marvel vs. Capcom story mode is a weird bag, and it's a pretty forgettable one. The main villains, Marvel's Ultron, created by Tony Stark, because they're using the MCU origin rather than Ant-Man, manages to get a hold of Sigma from the Mega Man X game. Yes, the Xana before there was Xana. The two of them, after a short exchange, decide to unite and take over the two universes together by melding them together using the space and reality Infinity Stones. Those things from the next Avengers movie. And yes, what you're seeing there is the actual final boss of the game via arcade mode. A kind of souped up final boss version known as Ultron Omega. But it gets worse from there as the two universes characters filled with the game's cast try to save the world from this ultimate threat using cheesy dialogue, overused superhero movie cliches, and a non-important ending. And a lot of Thanos, which Thanos ends up being the most interesting character. But that's not where it just fails. It also fails in what you're doing in those story modes. Every story mode chapter has several battles in them, but mostly against minor level foes that pose no real challenge to you. Only very rarely do you play against anybody of real significance. It mostly acts as a big, giant tutorial sequence for the game, except for the notion that it even fails at that, teaching only the core button controls, and once the Infinity Stones are added back into the story mode as a gameplay mechanic, does it go through the minor points points of going through those as well. It spends a lot of time wasting its time in pointlessness. But then again, a lot of Marvel and Capcom's, but mostly Marvel's decision making was made out of pointlessness. And it starts with the roster. The roster is pretty much a redo of Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3. Spans all the X-Men characters due to the goings-on with Fox's owning of their licenses there. Plus a couple other Capcom characters that don't make the return. But that's only where it starts for the roster. In an early interview for the game, one of the producers mentioned and called the characters functions, that they only serve the purpose of how their character plays. This is held true. The strong characters do the most damage, Nemesis, Hulk, Thanos, while speedy characters do very little damage, very fast, but can create combos. And of course, there's characters of balance. There's clearly, even as we stand, characters that are far above, like Damaru has become one and Thanos has become one. And I also see a lot of Dante's being played in online tournaments. But also, more importantly, is the stones. The affinity stones are in the game, each with their own special ability. Power heightens attack power and gives you a knockback move. The overpowered reality stone gives you a projectile that you can launch at any time that can cause hits. Mind stone causes stun. Soul Stone can get you health back, and even through its second level, revive a dead character, among others. It's the way they replace the third character that the game has gotten rid of, because it's back to a 2-on-2 format, just like the original Marvel vs. Capcom nearly 20 years ago. However, despite the characters are just functions rhetoric, the game manages to maintain the core Marvel gameplay style with a lot of high energy off the ground combos, which there are limits to, and the sense of the constant wall bouncing and tagging. The free use of the tag now being given to a button and allowed to tag at any point allows you to keep the characters fresh and the combos going for expert players. But the new auto combo system, similar to a system found in the recent King of Fighters, adds a kind of casualistic tilt, combined with a simplified 4-button layout, performing special moves and understanding what needs to be done on a simple level can get you playing, but Marvel's trademark complexity still remains. The gameplay, despite all the roster mistakes and story mistakes, holds true even in its return to the 2-on-2 format, which is kind of shocking. It's not something that I would play repeatedly for hours, but I know plenty that do, and it does have the addictive quality. A lot of the character themes, however, have been Marvel Universe-ed, so music suffers as a result, although there are a few standout themes musically, but largely it's a forgettable soundtrack. But however, where the game gets my biggest amount of applause, instead of the return to Marvel gameplay, is in the netcode. This netcode being an improved version of the failure that was Street Fighter V in every possible way. Playing matches is, for the most part, from my experience, smooth as butter. Yes, I did run into a few laggy games, but largely that was avoided. Connecting the matches, though, can be somewhat difficult unless you use the training mode fight request, in which that can be made a little bit easier. Sets of 3 for ranked matches, and a ranked match queue gives you something to opine for, but a beginner's league for those just starting out can be a way to balance the playing field. Lobbies with spectation also exist, and casual matches, although you'll know the ones that have learned the path of Marvel and those that don't very quickly. So it could be a learning process online. And just a word of advice to the new wise: Soul or Reality Stone, if you actually want to win, that is. All the other stones are useless. All in all, Marvel vs. Capcom misses the shot of being something richly unique. A lot of its new characters or DLC, there are only 5 new characters out of the box and 4 if you didn't pre-order. But all in all, it's okay. Just not marvelous. That's why I give Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite only a 7 out of 10. Despite its clearly MCU watch or movie stupid rhetoric through its character choices and through its lack of certain established flair, the gameplay of Marvel has been tweaked to fit this new MCU universe, even if the story and universe created because of it doesn't make much sense. The online play is surprisingly beautiful and is easy to get into. Casuals are given the tools they need to get started, and also the tools through mission mode for more complexity. Modes wise, it's pretty much standard fare, but as comparison to recent Capcom offerings, this is finally a full-fledged game, but not worth the $60, especially wait for an Ultimate Edition to come out with all the DLC attached. Even if, by the looks of things, only a couple of characters in the DLC look that worthwhile. The game had a lot of potential, but it's still a hero in training, not a full-blown superhero. Leave your comments down in the comment section below. It's sub for more. I'd like to find out what you think about this latest Marvel installment. And see you next time in Kadic Reviews. Find peace in your own nirvana, and thanks for watching me suck at this game.